you're carrying a device that makes a noise, please turn it off. And if you all would refrain from taking photos, the bride and groom want you to be in the moment with them. And so we'll leave it to the professionals to take the photos. All rise. To be married to this handsome groom. Friends, you may be seated. Love is a gift, and a wedding is a celebration of that marriage, of that magic. Sheng and Vicki, you are so wonderfully suited to one another that it is a pure delight for all of us who have gathered here to see how truly happy two people can be. Justice Kennedy wrote the following: "No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family." In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than once they were. In this excerpt, written by Frederick Buckner, we learn the true sentiments of Kennedy's words for our bride and groom. The bride and groom say they will love, comfort, honor each other to the end of their days. They say they will cherish each other and be faithful to each other always. They will say things not just when they feel like it, but even for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, when they don't feel like it at all. In other words, the vows they make could hardly be more extravagant. They give away their freedom. They take on themselves each other's burdens. They bind their lives together. The question is, what do Vicki and Sheng get in return? They get each other in return. There will always be the other to talk to listen to fly kites with. There is still someone to get through the night with, to wake into the day beside. They both still have their lives apart as well as a life together. They both still have their separate ways to find. But a marriage is one where two individuals become more richly themselves together than the chances are either of them could ever have imagined to become alone. So they are no longer two, but one. Vicki and Sheng, may your love increase and overflow for each other and for everyone that you come into contact with. I remind you that you each are a precious gift to the other, and that marriage is a lifelong dedication to love one another more fully and more freely in spite of life's challenges. Sheng, on this special day, in the presence of family and friends as your witnesses, do you vow to be with Vicki and support her in times of sickness and in times of health, in times of joy and in times of sorrow? Do you promise to share with her life's simplest but most enduring pleasures, to be truthful and honest with her, and to cherish her for as long as you both shall live. If so, say, I do.
I do.
Vicki, on this special day, in the presence of family and friends as your witnesses, do you vow that you will be with Sheng and support him in times of sickness and in times of health, in times of joy and in times of sorrow? Do you promise to share with him life's simplest but most enduring pleasures, to be truthful and honest with him, and to cherish him for as long as life is yours? If so, say, I do.
I do.
Family and friends, you occupy an important place in this couple's lives. All of you have made time in your busy schedules, and some have traveled across the country and flown across the world to be here today on their wedding day. It is in your company that these two have learned the lessons of friendship, of the tremendous act of giving oneself to another, and they ask for your blessing over their marriage. On this, their wedding day, Sheng and Vicki ask you to remain steadfast, reaching out to them in times of trouble, helping them to celebrate their achievements and their joys. Wherever your own destiny may carry you, they ask that you continue to include them in your lives. There is so much to be grateful for. Let us be grateful for the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand. Let us be grateful for the precious moments we have with one another. Let us especially be grateful for the ties of love which bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all our days. When I first met the bride and groom, they were coming from the Cherry Blossom Kite Festival. And for those of you who live in the area, you know how big anything with cherry blossom is, any event. Well, this particular day, it was cold and it was windy. And they had, I believe they had in tow with them their kites, or at least the groom did. And so for those of you who laugh with sincerity and those of you who laugh with sarcasm, I think it's important that we always hold on to the child within and nurture that child. And that's what this couple did that day. And so these words penned by Graham King capture the depth of love shared by Vicki and Sheng. I think that I might fly away in my hot air balloon and hide from worldly worries on the dark side of the moon. There's but one thing I need before I float into the blue. I need a sky companion, and I want it to be you. The bride and groom elected to write their own vows, and for whatever reason, I didn't see a coin flip, but the bride elected that the groom would go first.